today in this workshop, but still I'm happy that you are here and we can work together. And first of all, the idea of behind this workshop is to not only advertise, the discipline of English, because I'm going, to launch an advertising campaign. It's not only to advertise the discipline of English and to show how many pluses and benefits you can get from studying, this discipline, be it an optional subject or an elective subject, but also to give you some sort of opportunity. Hello, yes, join us please, quickly. To give you an opportunity to try your hand at something really practical in order to see how many skills, English language skills you have already gained, and maybe, and at the same time to see how many skills and what skills exactly you still need to develop, you still need to improve, right? Okay. So, and yes, the topic is English for the world of work. And right now, together, we will try to brainstorm why, for international communication for professional people, English is really important. And you can see some sentences which you are supposed to complete, okay? You have to complete these lines. And you can discuss it together with your neighbors or in your small groups, and together we will complete this list of things why English is really important, what aspect. So why English? And one of the answer is already there, right? Because English language is in lingua franca. Yeah, it's an international language. So what about the other lines? You have 1 minute to talk to each other and come up with at least 3 reasons why English is worth studying. How do you understand this? What does it mean to be lingua franca? Any ideas? I told you, it's an international language. Okay, we will dwell a bit on this a bit later. So your reasons.
Because it is language of science.
It is the language of science. Absolutely right, thank you. Another line. Because English is the language of
business.
Oh, programmers. Only programmers rule. The most important people are programmers. Wonderful. Okay, so it's the language of programmers, lawyers, IT specialists. So, business, right? Different industrial enterprises, etc. Business, science, and IT specialists, programmers. What do they do? What is their product?
It's like Microsoft.
And we call it just using one word. It's one word for all the devices, for all the instruments.
Technology.
And for gadgets as well. Technology. Okay, this is English is not only the language of science, of business, it's also the language of technology, right? Okay, any other reasons? Why it's worth studying English? Okay, these are my ideas. Okay, let's read them. So that's the language of science and technology. You're absolutely right. Okay, join us quickly. It's the language of business. It's the language of conferences, workshops. It's called cross-cultural communication, scientific communication, communication in business, and of course language of instructions, specifications, because we have to read documents, right? And if you are specialists in your fields, real professionals, you have to deal with lots of documents written not only in your native tongue, right, but also in English. Okay, great. And let's sum up again. So the importance of the English language now maybe for cross-cultural communication, how to understand. It's not only just like an example, it's scientific communication, etc. What is this, etc. So it's for scientific communication. You read papers, you communicate, yes, with other scientists. And what sort of cross-cultural communication? What else? What does it mean?
When you travel, you also have to...
Absolutely, traveling, yes. On a business trip, when you just travel for pleasure, all right, as a tourist, okay, great. Any other aspects why English is really important as a language for cross-cultural communication?
When you read different foreign books.
Do you think it refers to cross-cultural communication?
Yes, I think that it is communication with different traditions, with different cultures.
Okay, that's how you absorb, right, from books,
yes.
sort of, right. Okay, has...
English global change, easy to
right, but we're speaking about communication, cross-cultural. How do you understand this? I'm a Chinese specialist, you are a specialist from, say, Canada, right? She's from France, and it's a cross-cultural thing, right? But we have only one tool. I don't speak French, I don't speak Chinese, but the tool is English.
English consists of a lot of international words.
All right, what I'm driving at is just you can have an opportunity to work in cross-cultural setting. I mean, international company, right? And in this case, English is the tool for this cross-cultural communication. We really need it. All right, great. Reading technical documentation. Have you ever read any specifications? Have you ever come across patents? Yeah, sure. All right. Okay, mature learners know, yes, what it's like. Okay, what it's like. All right, reporting. What actually means reporting? You can report if you are a researcher, research results, right? You can summarize recent and future work on specific project, and you know it's just kind of a report for your boss to see how well you're doing, right? Okay. Well, and you need English to write documentation on the job. For example, you can use English to write a winning proposal and get a lot of money and to be famous in scientific community and in the world of business, right? And of course, it's given presentation in English at international events. Have you ever made a presentation in English at a conference? I know. Yes, you have. All right. So, what was your experience? What was applied? Yeah.
Well, as for me, I remember my first presentation in English was in Italy. I think it was during my master's studies, and it was my first presentation in English. I was really nervous, so I think I started preparing in 2 months before the conference. And still I was preparing in the last night before my talk. I was really nervous, but then when it was done, like I was...
So it was a success, right?
I think it was a success, but no one asked any questions, so maybe they didn't understand.
All right, anyway, I think it was a success and it was very useful experience for you because your later presentations were much better. I understand. Yes, of course, it's understood, right, it's clear. Okay, wonderful. So, and I'm given my presentation today in English just to show you an example. Just, you know, we can imagine that the audience here, right, is just a mixture of different nationalities and the only two language, right, we can understand and I can get my message across using English. Okay, and now we will actually focus on different aspects, right, which are necessary in the world of work. And the first one is socializing, in particular, making small talk. And to tell you the truth, my first experience of making a small talk was a real disaster. Because I was so nervous. And I used to, you know, compose very complicated phrases, and you know, Americans seemed to have trouble understanding me. Oh, she was fascinating. Oh, and then, you know, I felt really awful. But I think that I've improved a great deal since that time. And now we will check how well you can, you know, do that. And before we actually unscramble these phrases, which are very typical for making, you know, for small talks, right? The first one, any ideas? It's
great to meet you in person finally.
I'm afraid the word order is not quite correct. Finally, it's great to meet you in person. You know, you're so tired. You've been looking forward to this meeting for a long time. Maybe, but it's not quite perfect. It doesn't sound really perfect. It doesn't sound really British. But it's a good try.
It's final, great to meet you in person.
It's final, but it's an adverb. It's finally. Any other ideas? Shall we play the game teachers versus students? All right. Well, we will see a bit later. The second one. Any ideas? Would you like? Are you sure about the word order? Would you like? Not quite right. Not quite right. Try harder. Try harder. Would you like Something to drink, yes, that sounds much better, thank you very much. Number 3.
Did you have any trouble finding us?
Yes, well done. You were able to use. Okay, great. And finally, we've got the phrase. If you say "I'd like you," it means that you want me to do something, all right? It's not your wish to do something. Yeah, you delegate this to me. Oh, to and meeting, they clash. They don't go together. I'd like to arrange what? What arrange? To arrange what? You, me? Oh, please don't do it. I like myself. So I'd like to arrange a meeting. And I'd like to arrange a meeting with you, probably. Okay. So, all right, let's read them all together. So, Vlad, will you read the first line aloud? And now with better, with good expression. Imagine you are saying this to me. I'm your foreign partner. It's great to meet you, person. I'll be your thank you.
It's great. Finally,
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, well done. Artem, the second one.
would you like something to drink?
Thanks a lot. A coffee, please. So, the next phrase, Yaroslav. No, it was easy. I got a taxi. Thank you. Okay, and finally, Artur.
I'd like to arrange a meeting with you.
All right, thank you very much. So now you know these phrases. And it was some sort of warm-up for you. Now I think you are quite prepared for a bigger challenge. And this time we are going to make it really serious. It's small talk. So look at these grid boxes, right? Your task will be to work in small groups. Now you are going to work in groups of 4 or 5 students, all right? Yes. Olga, will you join these students here? All right, great. You guys, you can join them too. Take your chairs, right? So the idea behind this task is you take turns. You take turns and do the instructions in each box. All right? Okay. So you have 5 minutes for this task. Think of the language, and then we will discuss what language you use. Okay, together. So right now you have 5 minutes to enjoy real English and to see how well you can make a small talk. So, for example, meet a visitor. What do you say when you meet a visitor?
Hello, Jack.
Hello, nice to meet you. Maybe it's a good idea to introduce yourself first, right? I'm Jackie Chan. Yes. All right. It's nice to meet you. And so on. All right. You know everything, I think. Okay, try your hand at it. You have 5 minutes. Go. Was any, okay, did you have any difficulty? I don't know how to say this. Did you have such thoughts? They engage in this. Wonderful. Okay, thank you very much. Now let's see I'm going to show you some suggestive language for such situations. Right? We can have doing making small talk, and let's read them aloud. Yes. So if you meet a visitor, you can say something like this. Nasta, will you read it? Please. Okay.
Hello, I'm Natasha.
You are not Natasha Filatova, that's why I asked. Nice to read it. Okay, so Daria, will you read it? What?
She can see.
Oh, she can see. I'm sorry. All right, Olga, will you read it?
Mr. says, hello, I'm Olga Chernakova. Oh, sorry.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
BTO systems. Welcome to Russia.
Welcome to Russia. All right. Or, and this person, you can respond, if you're a visitor, you can respond like this. Hello.
It's a pleasure to meet you too.
Okay, it's a good idea too, okay, to see each other's eyes, right? All right, anyways, thank you very much. You're a real hero. Okay, for example, if we have to ask about the weather, what do we say? What do we say? Will you read it?
How was the weather when you left?
Yaroslav, respond please. It was raining. As usual. Imagine you are from London. Okay, it's typical weather, right, for London. Okay, if you have to offer help to visiting partner, how do you do it, Julia?
Can I help you with your bag? Shall I make it for you?
Oh, that would be great, thanks. Okay, or if you have to apologize for a delay. It wasn't your fault, but okay. Will you read it?
I thought you hadn't been waiting.
Oh, sorry to keep you waiting. Okay. Oh, offer a cup of coffee, Artem.
Okay, I didn't get it.
Настя, will you respond? Okay, any volunteers? Masha, will you respond? Pick up.
Would be great.
Would be great. Would be great.
I'm waiting for the moment. Thanks.
Yeah. Or if you don't feel like coffee, right? I'm okay for the moment, thanks. But you have to be polite, right? Okay, great. So, any other boxes which were kind of difficult for you? Tell me, please. Which boxes were sort of difficult and you didn't know the language? All right. Okay. So, and how do I'm really interested in this. How do you find about your visitor's company or laboratory or university? What can you say? If it's a company, what company? What company are you with? Or where are you based? Okay. So where are you located or based, right? In Frankfurt or in some other places? Because, yeah, and giving recommendations for sightseeing in your city. How can we do that? Okay, you can modify this rate a little bit and just say something about our city. Recommend something to see here. There is a fantastic art museum or fantastic park, right? In the center of the town, right? Or in the center of the city. Okay, great. So, what time again? I try to attract your attention to these phrases, to this language. Why do you think? Why do you think it's so important to use this language or similar language, but not your Runglish or Runglish, when you tend to translate yourself, word for word, yes, produce word for word translation from Russian. Why is it a bad idea? And we have to learn maybe this language. Why? Because it is functional language, right? It is the language that native speakers use, right? And whether we like it or not, we have to learn it in order to be successful in our cross-cultural communication. Otherwise, people will have difficulty understanding us. That's a bad news, maybe, but at the same time, it's a good, it's some sort of good news, right? A piece of good news, because you will sound just like a native speaker. Yeah, the more phrases you've learned, the more you sound like a native speaker. All right. And now, we are really pressed for time, and I have some other things for you to do today. But quickly, I would like you to do this sort of role play. Okay? Maybe I will give you just a couple of minutes. Let's read the task, and I will give you some handouts for this. Misha, will you read it out loud? The task.
You have met someone at a trade fair workshop, and you want to find out more about what they do and why they are there. Ask a few open questions, not yes or no questions, to get the information.
Right. Okay. So even do you all know yourself? You know each other? No, not okay. All right, but it could be really interesting. So now you have some handouts to help you. Yes, and quickly talk to each other and find out about your company, your laboratory, or your university. Using the question word where. What are your questions? Where are you from? Any other?
Where do you stay?
Where are you staying? If you mean now, yeah. Where are you staying? Great. How? How was your flight? Great. Anything else?
How are you?
How are you? Okay, what?
What about stocking loss?
What? I can't catch what you're saying. I mean, if you were the officer from the KGB department, it would be appropriate questions of, you know, what? It's your business partner! What?
What are your responsibilities in the company?
Yes, thank you very much, Olga Valena. All right, how long? How long have you been here already? You mean, okay, or how long have you been working for your company, right? Okay. Because after the question of responsibilities, it's a good question to ask, right? About experience of working in a particular company or department. When did you, or when do you, what do you mean? When do you receive? Regularly. Okay. Okay, any other questions? When will you leave? When will you leave? When will you go back, right? Okay. Anything to do with the, you know, we're in the world of work, right? Anything to do with responsibilities of companies? Thank you very much. Or when did you start working on the, when did you start working on your project, right? Something like this, okay. And finally, what do you think of your boss? So, yeah, okay, it's a bad idea. So, what do you think of our
Conference.
Our city? What do you think of this conference? What do you think of this fair trade? Or trade fair, sorry.
Trade fair.
Okay, wonderful. So I hope you now realize that you can do something, right? You can make a small talk, of course you can. But of course you have to improve your language skills a bit, right? To be effective. All right, great. Now another aspect of socializing is telephoning. Have you ever talked over the phone to a native speaker? Have you? No. Lucky you are. It's sometimes really difficult, of course. But anyway, it's a very good skill to have, especially in the world of work. And now, it's just, again, one of the aspects. We're going to see how well you can take messages. It's about taking messages. And looking at these phrases, tell me please, which person, this phrase refers to the person who is answering the telephone or who is making the call. And then it's going to be B, right? We will label these people. Okay, so the first one has been done for you. Speaking, can I help you? And it's answering, right? It's a person answering. The next phrase, all together. Who's calling, please? Okay, try to read it. Who's calling, please? And it's answering. Who's calling, please? Answering. Yes, it's a person. For example, I'm a secretary, right? Okay, great. This is Jack Cooper from Ohio. That's B. A person linking with you, right? Can I leave all together? Can I leave a message? Can I leave a message? It's B. All right. Okay. All together. I'll make sure he gets the message. It's A. Answering the phone. Right. The next one. He's in a meeting. It's A. Right, you are. Could you tell him that? It's B. Okay.
Can I take a message?
It's A. Can I
Take
your number, please? It's A. Okay. Can I speak to B? All right. And finally, back later. Can you call back later? It's A. Wonderful. Okay, well, the audience I have today, they know everything. All right, great. Now a more challenging task for you. Yeah, it's a get conversation. So you have, again, I will help you with handouts. If you have not very good eyesight, we have to complete these conversations, right? Small conversations with these phrases, and then we will listen, real telephone conversation, and check our guesses. Okay, do it. You have 2 minutes.
Hello, Finance Department.
Hello, can I speak to Adrian Hopwood, please?
So, do you have this? Can I speak to Adrian Hopwood?
I'm afraid he's in a meeting at the moment.
I'm afraid. Do you have this phrase?
Can I help?
No, I need to talk to Mr. Hopwood, I think. What time will he be out of the meeting?
In about an hour. Can you call back later?
Did you get it? Yes.
Okay, I'll do that.
Or can I take a message?
Yeah, right?
Actually, would you mind? Could you tell him that Jennifer McAndrews called?
Could you tell him, right? Okay.
And I'm in the office all day, if he could call me back.
Can I take your number, please?
Yes, it's 555-6872.
555-6872. Okay, I'll make sure he gets the message.
Thanks very much for your help. Bye.
Goodbye.
All right. So, how do you feel about that? Did you get it right? Yes? One mistake. All right, anyway, it wasn't too difficult, I think, right? Because it's kind of understood. So, all right, the context helps a lot. So now, did you pay attention how they pronounce telephone numbers?
Yes.
Yes. Is it different from how we do that? Yes. All right. So will you read the telephone number again, please? 555-6872. All right. So remember about that. It's really, really important. Okay, great. Let's go on. And this time it's business correspondence. Another important aspect in the world of work when you have to use English, right? And let's look at this list. These are the types of different letters, right? We can, so a letter of request, what does it mean? You should translate this into Russian, please. Letter of request. Okay, great. Do you do that? Do you have to write letters of request? Wonderful. The next one, letter of inquiry. So both, spelling is right, so both variants are correct. Inquiry. What is it? What does it mean?
Inquiry for information.
Yes, when we inquire for information, you по-русски. Запрос, да? Вы что-то пытаетесь узнать, да? Okay, the letter of complaint. Письмо жалоба. The letter of apology. When you have sorry, yeah, right. Okay, a letter of invitation. Письмо приглашения. A letter of invoice. Any ideas?
To get price.
Yes, right. Sure, thank you very much. По оплате, да, когда мы решаем какие-то вопросы. A letter of application. When you have to apply for, you write a letter of application to get a job or to get a place at university or any other thing, right? То есть, so these are called letter of application. The next one, a letter for exchange of information. Any letter, right? Exchange of information, just neutral. Making and confirming arrangements. Когда мы подтверждаем или только лишь договариваемся о встрече и подтверждаем. Okay. Memos, any ideas what it means? These are messages within one company or organization, right? Для внутреннего пользования, да, какие-то вот такие напоминания, служебные записки, вот это все сюда. And report, all kinds of reports, right? Not only your lab reports you're doing in your classes, right? Okay, great. So now I want you to identify, to match the phrases from different letters to match them with the type of letters, okay? And the one has been done for you. I'm writing to apply, it's a letter of application. Your ideas? I'm writing to inquire about, it's a letter of inquiry, it's easy. Okay, the second phrase. Serious. I'm writing to complain. Oh, sorry, it's a spelling mistake. Did you get it? Complaint is a noun. Yeah, it was just misspelled. The letter of complain, yeah, sure. So this letter T is extra, so probably shouldn't be there. Okay, I'm writing to complain. Okay, it's a letter of complaint. And the next one, I'm writing to inform you. Give an information, right. The next one, I'm sorry to decline your client invitation. What about this one? I say I'm not coming. I'm not participating, right? I refuse somebody's invitation. I'm writing to invite you. Refers to letter of invitation, right? Okay. And finally, I'm writing to apologize for. It's a letter of apology. Absolutely right. Great. Okay. Now, it's again a more challenging task maybe for you. These are two letters. One letter is formal, another one is informal. And of course, these letters are very different, right? In tone and and the way they do the layout sometimes. All right. So your task will be to, yes, put the right letters. Salutation, what is it? Yes. Opening sentence. You know, you have to sort out, do some sort out right here. Body, the main message of the letter. Friendly ending and complementary close. Yeah. So, I mean, can you see this well? Because I don't. No, not well. Okay, I have so many tasks, so we can say we can admit it, right? Okay, forget about this. Anyway, before we actually forget about this, right now, I would like you to focus attention on what? The difference between formal and informal letters. And even if you have a glance at it, formal letters, what is the difference between formal and informal letters? Just the difference that you know, probably. Yes, so we address a person just, you know, we call them by name, and, you know, we do not use all the titles, right? What about the body of the letter? If you look at G, I'm writing to inform you. Does it belong to formal or informal?
Formal.
Formal, are you sure? Why formal?
I am, no, informal.
Informal,
Because
because yes, we cannot use any contractions, right? Informal letters. Okay, great. Well, and the language, of course. What about this? Is it formal or informal? Hope you had a successful third quarter and you look forward to. How do you know it's formal? How do you know it's formal? Look forward, absolutely. Thank you very much, Olga. Because in informal letters, they use I'm looking forward, or looking forward, just looking. In formal letters, they tend to use look, infinitive, instead of ing form. Yes. Okay, and some other things. All right. Great. Okay, maybe this task. Can you see well? All right. Match the endings with the beginning with the endings to make the phrase, which are very typical for business correspondence. Please find and close our current price. Price. This is an order form, right? It's an adjective, right? Price here, just like noun plus noun, but it refers to this. Okay, please fill in the order. What is order? What is order? Заказ. Please fill in the order, то есть заполните, да, заказ на что? Please fill in the order for, okay, will you read it aloud? 395,000 pounds and 95 pence. Or just 95. Okay, great. Payment can be made by, oh, not so. 395 pounds, right. Payment can be made by check or credit card. Absolutely right. Well done. We would like to place an order with you for 2,000 units. Absolutely right. And finally, please find and close the check on page 26. Oh, sorry. Please find and close the check. Yes, for this sum of money, and please fill in the order form on page 26. Thank you, guys. Okay, great. Next one, these are the keys. We don't need them any longer. We don't need this because we are pressed for time. And one more aspect we are going to discuss today. In your place, in your professional life, right? In your place of work, as specialists having great knowledge of English, you have to deal not only with people, you have to not only socialize and write letters, etc. You have to read and report, yes? You have to understand information when you come across, necessary information in papers, etc., etc. And now we're going to deal with call for papers. It's a typical thing that scientists deal with, right? Okay, so in this call for papers, I have some handouts for you. So you will get them. Your task will be to answer these questions. And when we have to read something for particular information, we sort of scan documents, right? So now it's your scanning task. So you are going to look for particular information and then answer my questions. So the goal for papers, what is the purpose of this document? To about upcoming event, right? Okay, great. So where can we come across such documents? Call for papers. How do we get them? Where can we find them? On the internet or in our mailbox, right? So just like spam. Yeah. Okay, great. But anyway, yes. Have you ever composed this kind of document, call for papers for your colleagues abroad? Yes, yes, sure. All right. Now let's quickly check the questions. So the first question is, what's the subject area of the conference? Did you get this information? What is the subject area? Aloud, please louder, please louder. Micro and nano technology. Yes, microelectronics, electronics, etc. All right. Where will the event take place? You guys? Where's the event? Where will it take place? In Greece, Grenoble. In France. In France, Grenoble. Okay, well done. Great. So, what are the dates? What are the dates? Okay, up to July this year in 2014. All right, great. What is the requirement for the first author of each paper? They should be PhD students. Okay, great. What papers will be awarded the gold leaf? What papers will be awarded the gold leaf? This one. 10 top. Okay, the papers which will be in this top 10%, right? Okay. Okay, what information will be free for all the participants? Have you found this? No. Oh, sorry. Look, areas of interest. The following topics are of interest for the and other topics within. Oh no, not this one. Sorry. Conference. Somewhere here. Okay. Free of charge. Cannot see it. Where is it?
Here, second.
Oh yes, full editorial green electronics, and it's underlined and highlighted. Right, great. Okay, when is the deadline for paper submission? When is the deadline, guys? For paper submission? Yes, right, okay. And what topics would be of interest for you, students, and for other students of our university? If you look again at the subject area, what topics do you think would be of interest for Southern Federal students, or Southern Federal University students? Any ideas? For you, physics students in radio physics and nanotechnology? Yes, but they don't think so. I don't know why. Okay, what about students from high technology faculty? Not only Taganrog, Lana Yurina students, for example, from high technology. Do you think this topic would be interesting for? Yes, really? Okay, so wonderful. All right. And finally, this is the last task, our final task we're going to do. Yeah. And it's to do with summarizing skills. You know that it's not just to read, to write at work, right? Sometimes we have to, something that we have seen, something that we have heard, something that we have learned, right? To report back to our colleagues, to our bosses, and to our trainees, right? And it's a very, very important skill. You know, you postgraduate students know pretty much yes about that. Okay. So now there are three, you know, I would say quotations, right? I found them on some of the forums where the language, the importance of English language was discussed. And your task right now is to read these lines, right? These quotations, and come up with your one or couple of sentences to sum up the main idea which is conveyed in these three quotations, okay? Just sum up the main idea. Have you finished reading it? Yes? Okay, do you agree with the message? Yes. Okay, now think of a sentence or a couple of sentences both in Russian or in English. I mean, do it as you like, okay? You can use your language, you can use English. But sum up, please, the key idea in 1 or 2 sentences. You better do it in English, of course. It's a challenge. All together, all these 3 steps in one. Just, you know, they convey the same idea. It is necessary to learn English for your good career. All right, thank you. Any other ideas? Thank you very much, Vadim. Clear and concise. So, very briefly. Okay, so. Developing complex, you know, inferiority complex when I'm listening to Vlad. He has so many ideas. Thank you very much. Okay, so, well, great. Thank you. He thinks that all language, English language skills are very important, right? Writing, speaking, etc. Thank you very much. Any other ideas? Postgraduate students, come on. You got it. Okay, so in other words, we can say that if you want to be marketable, if you want to be competitive on the job market, you'd better master English. Okay, great. And I think that my purpose, one of the goals of my workshop, right, is achieved. So because one of the goals of my workshop was to persuade you, not even just to persuade you to do something, or of course to do, but also to convince you first of all, right, that English is really very important in modern world of work. Yes, do you agree with that? Yes, and I hope that you got my message. And but the question, one more question is, well, you understand now, you pretty much realize that English is so important for your future career, because you want to be a very highly paid specialist, you know, profitable one, right? And, you know, all this kind of thing. But how can you help yourself? What should you do now when you realize that, yes, English is important? How can you help yourself? Sorry, just the last one. Okay. It's easy. First of all, my idea is you can take an English as a second language course. By the way, you had to do it. It was your English language course at university, right? But you can, of course, continue studying English. You can use, you know, you can go to language schools, or you can do some, you know, self-study course. You can go to places where you can speak English. Are there any places like this in our city? Yes. Yes. Yes, right. And people discuss things, discussion clubs, right? You can join an English language club in your city or university, or create one if you like. Yes? Okay, invite your teachers. Alright, great. You can watch television, you can listen to the radio and read in English, right? And the more you do it, the better your English is, right? And finally, maybe the easiest way today, right? You just go online. And there are so many educational resources. You can work on your own. But of course, when you work in a team, it's much, you know, better. It's, you know, it's just, it's fun, right? To work on a team, to discuss things with other people. So, and this is actually, again, one more aspect of my advertising campaign today, just to tell you that our department organizes different, you know, courses, right? Short-term courses, semi-intensive usually. So you can get a certificate, you can study twice a week and get, and I would like to share our experience with Svetlana Yurievna, because we trained, we had, you know, we usually, not only Svetlana Yurievna, but Maria Alexandrovna, so we, have experience of training students to become, or students for this kind of, how to put this in English? You know, they get certificate referent-переводчик. So there is no word for the translation. Usually these are called international secretaries or PAs, right? And the thing is, in modern world, you know, when a company hires a translator, this company pays money for just, you know, okay, translator. But when a company has a highly qualified specialist in a particular field, right? A very good engineer, having all necessary engineering qualifications, but at the same time, this engineer has wonderful English language skills, right? That's why this specialist will get, you know, will be really marketable. And in the modern world, such specialists are in high priority. So that's why it's really important for students in engineering, in physics, in chemistry to acquire such things. So welcome and join us in our courses. Okay, thank you very much for coming. I hope you found this workshop interesting and useful. I hope so. Thank you.
Thank you.